I'm here because this is exactly what we want to see when we hold an event like this kind of engagement. I'm Jody Neathery-Castro. I'm the Interim Associate Vice Chancellor for Global Engagement. In my role, I get to work very closely with UNO's International Programs Office, and of which the Center for Afghanistan Studies is a part. So I'm delighted today to welcome you to this celebration, 50 years of the Center for Afghanistan Studies. That's an accomplishment worth clapping for. I'm also a professor in the political science department here at UNO. I've been here for exactly half of that time, so I've been here for 25 years, and I've had the great pleasure of working closely with the Center for Afghanistan Studies in some of the programming and the groups of students and short-time attendees for our different events, grants with the Center for Afghanistan Studies. So it's wonderful to be able to help be a small part of this celebration. I do have colleagues here who we're going to hear from in a few minutes, who I will let tell the story of this great accomplishment that we know as the Center for Afghanistan Studies. I now have the pleasure, however, of introducing UNO Chancellor Joanne Lee. Dr. Lee has been Chancellor since July of 2021. Before assuming the role here at UNO, she served 4 years as the Dean of the Florida International University College of Business. Prior to that, she was Dean of the Business School and Professor of Finance at Wright State University. She also served as Chair of the Department of Finance at Towson University and Associate Professor of Business at Loyola University of Maryland. She's a first-generation student, like many of our UNO students. She earned her PhD in Finance and her Bachelor of Science summa cum laude from Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida. Her areas of research and expertise include corporate governance, executive compensation, investments, and international finance. I want to emphasize that because Dr. Lee is a champion for all things international. A native of Hong Kong, she is a highly internationally engaged leader and scholar who lends her expertise to many causes and organizations, and many of these are actually internationally based. She is the immediate outgoing president of the Council of Chinese American Deans and Presidents. She's a member of the European Foundation for Management Development on their Global Network Americas Advisory Board. She's a founding member of the Women in Business Education Global Community to champion women in business academia. I mentioned that she's a native of Hong Kong. She has been a great ally to our Office of International Programs and has been a wonderful welcome to all of our international students especially, including students that come through our Center for Afghanistan Studies. So please join me in welcoming Chancellor Joanne Lee.
I'm actually very humbled to be introduced by a poli-sci professor. As a professor of finance, I also feel very small. But Jody's right, I love all things international. And part of it is because I was an international student for a long time. And a lot of my research are actually on international, banking side and everything. And some of you probably know that I recently joined the Federal Reserve Bank, being one of the directors. So I love how international connectivity affects the way that we live our life, the way we educate our students. So first and foremost, thank you for allowing me to be part of this very important celebration, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Center for Afghanistan Studies. So the center is truly important, if I have to say. It's very important. I'm going to look in Shahjahan. It's very important, and I'm also looking at the founding family, because that is the profile of an urban university. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people know that UNO is the first sister university is Kabul University since 1975, right? So in times of changes and challenges, we know that relationship like this, right, through our Center of Afghanistan Study, it's important to grow what we call the urban university, how we truthfully honor a diverse constituency that we serve here. So last night I was looking at the script they wrote me, and I'm asking myself this question. So to the outside world, to many of our students, I have to say that they still feel like, well, Afghanistan study is foreign, right? It's foreign, right? It's good, it's someone's business. But truth be told that, from a person only been here a year and 9 months, and I know the sense of Afghanistan studies, it's actually generated a lot of attention, nationally and internationally. I mean, the research and the scholars from within, it's very, very spectacular. And I asked myself, we doing that? UNO is never really doing that for the fame, let me put it this way. We're doing that because this is actually important. This is really about humanity. This is really about lives. This is really about our friends, our family, somewhere in a different part of the world. So often when I read the news and I just feel so much emotion thinking about what can we do as one center, right? So every time when I see John say what's going on, right? You just have this anxiety. But I'm just proud of our colleagues that day in and day out, as I was walking one of our guests, we're just having a very brief discussion. I can feel the compassion he has, as Mohammed over there. I walked Mohammed into the ballroom. Mohammed, say hi. Yes. He was looking, where is this ballroom? I said, I can walk you there. And just a very short period, I can feel the compassion, the concern we have. Hey, we may live in a very safe community in Omaha, but there are so many things happen in other part of our country. But what's so important is actually through the Center of Afghanistan Studies, we're able to allow our students to have a different side of the world, right? To see the challenges over there. And that's how we build a great candidate. So I remember August 13, 2021 very well. That was the day that I had held a leadership retreat. I'd only been on campus a little bit over a month, right? And I got a phone call. I said, I got to take this phone call. I stepped out from the retreat room, and the phone call was telling me that there was an explosion in Kabul, and right now we're very concerned some of our members may not be able to get out. And following that particular day, after the phone call, I remember we trying to figure out a way, we're writing letters, connect with the system president. Who do you know in the Congress? We need someone to support us. We need to write a letter to bring our people back. And I think every day we're holding our breath. What can we do? Can we do something? Because we want to make sure that our people are safe. So during the troop withdrawal in Afghanistan, Hanif Suvisada, I saw Hanif, yes. And I read those articles, right? I'm sure many of you actually read Hanif's article. And his writing and the news analysis actually give U.S. insight on this historic event with his first-hand accounts. I mean, even today, this afternoon, if you never read that, this afternoon you pick up Hanif's writing, and you can feel the anxiety, the stress. But it's not only him, but there's so many people that day on that very difficult explosion. It was a chaos in Kabul airport. It was. I mean, you watch news. I mean, I chose not to watch news because it just gave me a little depression. But just reading the news through the words, it's a nightmare after nightmare unfolding, right? 48 hours, 72 hours, and you continue to count. And this, along with our director, Shajan, right here, I formally call him Shajan because we're family. And subsequently, he connected with the Office of the Chancellor and also appeared on many media appearances, helped to give insight while also actively working to help others evacuate. And one thing I have to say, if you talk with him, he's calm, right? Even though in a moment of chaos, tragedy, he was calm. Let's try to put our effort together and stop worrying right now. Let's figure out what we need to do next. So I have to say that, UNO has wonderful colleagues like Shajan that open our eyes, not only for international events, but for our compassion for other people. And with that, I'm very, very grateful. The mission is very important to us because it allowed this university and our community to grow together, right? What is humanity if you don't feel anything for other people, right? You cannot be a wonderful learner or a good citizen if you don't care about others, and it includes all citizens of the world. And of course, I saw the ambassador and we chit-chat, and the ambassador assured me, I'm sorry, I don't have any good news because it will continue to develop in a bad way. But I think, good or bad, we need to talk about it, We need to normalize the conversation. We need to understand from us, even as a private citizen, what can we do to help ourselves to get better educated so that we can look out for others. The region has changed. It has been changing. The work we're doing here in the Center of Afghanistan Studies continue to evolve. And we like to continue to adapt. We like to allow our students, our learners, our faculty and staff to adapt along with the community. And I will say that the Center of Afghanistan Studies has a very good mission and allow you all to be on the international platform. So with that, I think I always promise my staff I never follow the script. Please forgive me on that. But I want to say that one more time, right? UNO is committed to the Center of Afghanistan Study, not because it gets national fame, it appears on the newspaper, but we believe that we have the center here is to serve all populations. We have a center here because we care, and that's the profile in Urban University. So with that, I just want to say we're happy to have the Center of Afghanistan Studies here, and we're so excited to welcome you here. And I will ask for your forgiveness. After this, I will go back to my office, but I'll come back and have lunch with you. I have a phone call to make, but with that, congratulations to the 50 outstanding years of the Center of Afghanistan Studies.
Chancellor, thank you very much for the remarks and wonderful comments on how our university has been in the forefront of internationalization from our city of Omaha. The wonderful history that we have in this university marks the golden era of our efforts to internationalize our campus. We have succeeded and we will continue to succeed with the efforts of our national programs under your leadership, Jody and Emily. Thank you very much for doing that. And our leadership at the university. We are committed to expand on that hope and vision and engage more. As the Chancellor mentioned in her comments, Cowell University is UNO's first sister university. That opened the door for our internationalization. When we started having international students and faculty, and everybody else, our students and faculty went abroad. So it's a wonderful opportunity. My name is Joanne, and I'm the third director of the center in the history of the center for the last 50 years. You would say it took 50 years to have only 3 directors? Well, actually it did. Our wonderful colleagues, whose memories are always with us, and I can proudly say, although I was not even born then, Dr. Chris Young, who initiated the thought of having the Center for Afghanistan Studies here. May God bless his soul. He established the center in 1972, November 1972. But unfortunately, it did not continue. We lost him the year after. And we have his family here today with us. This is a moment that we not only recognize our colleagues, but also the family of Dr. Young. So I have some names, and I would like to recognize all the family that are here. Scott and Leslie Young. If you may, please stand up for everybody to see you. Shirley and Todd Weber. Kathy and Mitch Calvert. And Chris were in Cowell. They studied at Cowell International School. And one of them was born there. That was, Shireen was born there. And Patty was born there. So we have an Afghan born. So thank you very much for your father's efforts to establish the center. That shows his love for Afghanistan. And that love was changed into reality with the assistance of colleagues such as Dr. Jack Schroeder. So Jack, thank you very much. Jack, for 50 years. He taught here. He worked in Afghanistan.